hundreds of thousands of debt. I didn't know how I would get out of that place. It was the darkest place I'd ever been. Has anyone ever been through a dark time? Just raise your hand. So I'm speaking to you. And I was sitting there and I just looked at him and thought, how has my life gotten so bad? How am I packing your things into a bag, not knowing where we're gonna go tomorrow? How have I lost who I am? I was so unwell I could barely mother him. We ended up moving back in with my mother, and we were with her for some time. When I was there, I remember just thinking, all I want to do is be a role model for my son. I wanted to die. I was in such a dark place that I actually wanted to tap out. I was over life. But I knew there was something greater. And in that moment, I decided, I'm gonna change my life. I'm gonna change who I am. And I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna become something greater. Not only for my son, but for somebody else in the world. And I remember listening to Denzel Washington. I was listening to his words in my ears. And I was listening and I was playing it over and over. And it kept saying, pain is just temporary. What you're going through is not permanent. It is just temporary. Pain is just temporary. And I kept saying to myself, this pain in my body, the suffering of the autoimmune disease that I had, it's gonna go. The pain I'm going through, I'm gonna overcome it. And the money, I'm gonna get money somehow. But I could barely speak, right? I was on heart medication. I had what you call hyperactive thyroid, hypothyroidism. So it was in the throat, so of course I could barely speak. That was what the universe was trying to get me to do, to speak. But I didn't know that was why I was suffering from what I was suffering from. So I held my hand on my heart and I looked in the mirror. And in a minute, I'm gonna get you guys to do something real similar. And I looked at myself and I suddenly heard these words and it said, you're gonna be a motivational speaker. But imagine, I'd never even spoken on stage. I'd never even used my voice. I could barely even use my voice at that time. And I'd been told as a kid I could never do anything. I was told that I would never be able to use my voice because of who I was and everything I'd been through as I grew up. And then I stood there and I said, no, I'm gonna do this. And in that moment, I decided I was going to do it. And every day from that day forwards, I got 1% better and 1% better and 1% better until I became the Natasha Graziano that you see today. And I stood there and I rewrote that story. Thank you. I rewrote it. And I designed it. I said, I don't want to journal. People kept saying, journal will help you get it out. But I don't want to journal about the shit story I'm going through. I don't want to journal about the stuff that I'm going through. It's bad. It's negative. And there and behold, scripting was born. Scripting came to me because I wanted to redesign my story. So I wrote down a story about myself as though it was true. It didn't matter whether it was true or not. It was whether I could convince myself to believe in it. So it doesn't matter what you're writing down, because if I can come up from being broke, from being ill, from being in the worst place of my life and come back at the level I've come to, I mean, I even pinch myself sometimes. I'm like, I'm a twice best-selling author. I did a TED Talk. I was on the cover of Forbes. Like, I can't believe it sometimes. I'm like, I'm here. But if I can do that, someone in this room can achieve their goal too. Someone out there today, I know, is going to be able to commit to something and achieve their dream. So I shared that story with you